Welcome back to Armchair Gaffers. You're here with myself, Dan. You're here with Jess. You're here with SB, and you're here with Scorch and a pizza. Scorch, what we got on the pizza? What we dealing with there?
Bit of beef and green pepper.
Probably not my pizza of choice, but yeah, each to their own. SB and Jess, how we doing?
Good.
I've had better days.
Oh yeah?
I've had worse days too.
Care to tell us about it, or is it something that we'll revisit at the end of the episode?
We ain't got enough time, guys. We're trying to keep it short.
We haven't.
So yeah, fellas, we've had a jam-packed week of football. A quick public service announcement for the eagle-eyed armchair gaffers at home. You may have noticed a slight technical hitch in episode 5, part 1. And thanks for making us aware of it. We've reached out to a one-man creative agency known as Hesse Productions, and they were unavailable for comment when we contacted them.
I will make a comment on behalf of Hesse Productions Incorporated Limited, PLC.
PLC and LTD.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, the workforce has been stretched, and some parts of editing do slip under the radar. But we've rectified the problem and we've let go of the staff member responsible.
Okay, so yeah, you heard it here first, guys. That won't be happening again.
I just want to say, that's also something else to bear in mind when casting your vote for Gaffer of the Week. I'm just saying.
Sabotage. Speaking of nominations for Gaffer of the Week, we'd like to give a shout out to our winner of Gaffer of the Week from our subscribers and from the comments. This week it has gone to Rufus for his comment on last week's episode. Very detailed and quite accurate, to be fair. Talking about Kane. Kane resembling Wayne Rooney. And then also, a great shout for his one to watch abroad. We've got Liao at Milan, and you can see his comment here now.
Yeah.
Let us know if Rufus was deserving.
Also, as well,
decent shout.
Yeah, good shout. I want to say as well, there were a lot of good comments. And if you guys keep this up, I think one of us gaffers is going to have to go and be replaced by one of you guys, because a lot of guys there aren't pulling their weight. Okay, I'm all for getting a particular person. Not going to say any names, but there's someone on this team I want out the door ASAP. So if you guys keep going the way you're going, one of you could replace a certain somebody. No names.
Shout out to my guy Mezza.
It's a results-based industry, as they say.
Head to the end.
And we also tallied up the votes for last week's Gaffer of the Week, voted by the people in the comments and on our social media pages. And this week, I'm proud to announce that the winner of Gaffer of the Week for episode 4 was... It's SB. It's SB. It's SB.
Oh.
It's SB.
I want to recount.
It's SB.
I want to recount today.
Good work, SB.
What do I usually get for winning the Gaffer of the Week, lads? What do I usually get?
There's usually like wine or champagne passed around.
The finest continental wine from Syria. Syria.
Lovely. Enjoy that. Enjoy. Can you hold on to it? Can you do the back-to-back titles? That's the real question.
No one has ever done back-to-back Gaffer of the Week.
That's what you got to do, lads. You got to twist your tongue when you're drinking the wine. Get the flavours.
Not just football analysis. There's also we've got a sommelier on board, which is good to know. As I said, we have a jam-packed agenda. Hopefully, SB is still with us, and we're going to start with a Champions League review. Bayern opened their campaign against Atletico. The Champions League holders, Bayern Munich, extended their record in the Champions League to 12 consecutive wins as they thumped Atletico Madrid 4-0. Typically, we look at Atleti as a strong, defensively strong unit. Can we see a reason for such a resounding loss in opening game of the Champions League?
Yeah. I can see a couple of reasons. One of which I'm going to try and summarize as quickly as possible. And I think the best way to do that will be to say, no party for Atletico.
That's it.
That's all there is.
Shit.
Any word on the resurgence in Kingsley Coman? He scored a brace and also scored the winner in the Champions League final 59 days prior.
Guys, when I think
Do you
about
think he could step up?
when I think about it and I look at it, when I look at Kingsley Coman, I think to myself, has he had enough? Like, I know he won league here, league there, played for all these great clubs. But do you know what? You see, before I've seen a talented guy at a good club, at an elite club. I'm starting to see a guy that's a difference maker.
End product.
Yeah.
Fair play. Some of the stats I just looked through them, and we've got Bayern at like 59% possession, 16 shots versus Atletico 6. It was just like a total resounding beating. And when you've got that kind of firepower, it's just not that much of a shock. And as Jesse said, no party. Another big game from last week was PSG versus Man United. Oh yes, Ruth.
I just wanted to say quickly, is it the end of Simeone?
We're getting there, Hey, SB, I swear to you, I find Atletico, and people are going to think I'm crazy for saying this, I find Atletico kind of similar to Tottenham. And I feel as if like they're just at a further stage in their, I feel like he was given the opportunity to go again, basically, where Poch wasn't. And I feel to myself, I feel like they're coming to the end of that project, man.
Yeah, it's looking like the end to me as well, man.
It's a good shout. It was a bit surprising when he was given his new contract in, I think it was, Feb 2019, extended through till 2022. And that is seeming like a long way to go for the returns that they're currently kind of bringing in. So, I'd definitely say Simeone, not on borrowed time as such, but it could do
in that direction, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the road he's running out.
Yeah, definitely headed that way.
I will say, now is as good a time for him as any to really have a goal in the league. I mean, we've got Barca, which we'll get onto more later on, who aren't the Barca they were, and we've got Madrid, who aren't firing all cylinders. So you might be right. If he doesn't do it this season, is he going to get another season to really have another crack at it? Probably not.
Yeah, it's definitely, you raise a good point, and that's something that we can review and come back to. But as before we were heading towards PSG and United, Marcus Rashford repeated his late heroics against PSG 19 months after securing one of the greatest comebacks in the Champions League.
Well, lad.
Reinvigorated David De Gea, Tuan Zabi playing his first game since December, and Fred, who seems to have developed the knack of performing in the big high-pressure games. It was definitely an undercooked PSG. They were missing some notable names, including Verratti, Marquinhos, Icardi, Kura. Would you put this down as Ole's greatest achievement yet, SB?
We have to give Ole his props. He was in the firing line. He was actually in the firing line. He looked like he was going to get sacked anytime. Actually, you know what? Every time Ole looks like he's going to get sacked, he manages to pull out victories out of the bag, these massive results out of the bag. It's just like the fixtures just come and we all got massive games and he just somehow manages to just pop 2 or 3 results out of them games. It's crazy. But to be honest, when I saw the lineups, I saw PSG's lineup, I was just thinking, How would PSG? How's PSG gonna hurt United with 3 DMs playing in centre midfield?
You raise a good point, but don't you think that like Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria is that not enough to get the job done?
Like it is, but there's 11 players on the pitch. How are you gonna get? How's Neymar gonna get the ball in dangerous areas? Neymar was having to drop 60 yards from the box, the opposition box, to get onto the ball. It was ridiculous for him anyway. So for PSG, I don't see them winning the Champions League this year.
Battle with McTominay, yeah.
So yeah.
Can I ask something?
Another year without achieving what they set out to achieve. Scorch, what were your take-ups from the game?
Is Fred the new part Ji-sung?
No.
Specialist. Okay. Someone you wheel out for kind of special missions.
When your job's on the line and it's not going well, do you just rock out Fred for the big games? Because look, how about this? I know Ollie's inconsistent and I know he leaves us with a lot of questions, but he's got a lot of big wins, you know. And that was part of the reason why I fancied him to do PSG, to be honest. And when I saw that lineup, I thought,
yeah. It was, I think it was the first time, PSG had suffered a home defeat in a Champions League group game for the first time in 25 games. The last time they lost in a Champions League group game was in 2004.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That is
crazy.
And another little bit of trivia. Neymar has failed to score in 4 consecutive Champions League appearances for the first time since November 2013. Jess, do we think Neymar is any closer to winning the Ballon d'Or?
I think, I hadn't thought about this. At the moment, he's always in the running because he's a name brand player. So he's going to be in the nominations just because he's Neymar. He doesn't always score, like you said, but he does contribute a lot to the team's play. So if you ignore stats, goals and assists, and give him the eye test, I would say yes. But if you look at numbers, a forward, goals provided, he does provide a lot of goals, but he might just miss out based on that.
It's fair to say. Armchair Gaffers at home, let us know. Is Ole just a specialist in winning big games? Is Fred his man? Is McTominay his man? What about Axel Tuanzebe? First game in 10 or so months. Does he deserve to be starting for United? And also, let us know about PSG. Neymar, do you think he's any closer to winning the Ballon d'Or? The next game we're going to touch on from the Champions League from match day 1 is Real Madrid versus Shakhtar. Zidane took responsibility for what he called a bad night against Shakhtar. For me, it was a shock result of match day 1 as the 13-time European Cup winners were handed a humiliating defeat by a second-string Shakhtar Donetsk team. The Ukrainian champions arrived in Madrid with about 13 first-team players, and that's due to COVID. Luis Castro's young side were 3-0 up within 42 minutes. Second half goals from Modric, and Vinicius Jr. gave Madrid hope, and a late goal from Valverde was ruled out, so there was a little bit of drama, but I think the VAR decision was right. So, Scorch, what are your takes on this Real Madrid defeat and I guess the team as a wider piece?
I feel like when I'm looking at this Madrid team, they're halfway between a young and exciting team and the old trusted team. They're not quite there. They're not quite there. And there was also the very, very, very bizarre 2 left backs. Didn't work. I'm a massive fan. You lot know I'm a massive fan of them.
I was.
Didn't work. And and what's crazy is coming into the game, I thought Shakhtar had lost 10 players. So coming into the game, I would have thought like they would have been the team that looked unsettled and didn't really have like You know, I wouldn't expect any rhythm to their game. You know, the other way around. But I don't want to pin it solely on Mendy, but I do feel like the balance was
bad.
Wrong. It was all wrong.
Yeah, I was trying to work out what was going. When I flicked on, I was like, what? But Zidane said, yeah, it's all his fault, basically.
Another thing is as well, I think it's proven Varane and Militao.
Ooh, doesn't work. Randall lost without Ramos the other day.
And he's had a few shaky Champions League games in recent memory. I look back to last year, he made a couple high-profile mistakes. And he's someone that has been consistent, I guess, for as long as I've been watching him play. But yeah, we're starting to see a few ricks here and there, and then scored the own goal against Shakhtar. And yeah, a couple stats from this game or takeaways. Real Madrid have lost 3 consecutive matches in the Champions League for the first time since 1986. So they're in a bit of a bad way. And Vinicius Jr. scored for Real just 15 seconds after coming on as a substitute. And this is the fastest goal from a substitute since records began, according to Opta.
I mean,
let us know your thoughts.
Sorry, before we continue, all of that sounds great. And I want to say something which might sound a bit mad considering everything else I'm going to say. But I know that Zidane's won all these Champions League trophies as a manager. Was it 3 or 4 he's won? I'm not sure. And I think he has 2 La Liga titles as well. But how good of a coach is he really? I mean, hasn't been tested. He's coming to a team where he's trusted by the board, trusted by the supporters as a great at the club. So he's really got a lot of breathing space. But could he do it on a cold, wet night at Stoke?
Oh my God.
Wait, whoa.
This is, hey.
I would like to distance.
What are you trying to do?
Any of that. What?
Yeah. That doesn't reflect the views of us here at Armchair Gaffers. That is solely Jess's idea.
Jess said, yeah, he's under no pressure at Real Madrid, the Santiago Bernabeu, where man have been sacked for wearing the wrong clothes.
Man gets sacked.
You know that the handkerchiefs come out regular
all the time.
That's how I see it.
He's never. I don't think he's played a season and ain't won nothing.
I'm just saying. This is a question, guys. Don't get mad at me. I'm just asking questions.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Just don't like him because he doesn't have a system. Because he's actually, in 2020, he's a manager.
What is his system, guys? I really want to know. Like, I'm a very logical person. And when I watch Madrid play, I can't, come on.
He's from the school of Ancelotti, and it's jiggy.
I'm with you on parts, Jess. It's cool.
Thank you, SB. Anyways, let's move on.
So, Armchair Gaffers at home, please let us know your thoughts on Real Madrid. Do we think they're going to challenge again? Because they usually do very well in the Champions League. But yeah, it seems like they're going through a bit of a rough patch at the minute. Do we think Zidane will be able to lift the most coveted trophy in European football come May? A few notable results as well from this week. We had Ajax and Liverpool won away, 1-0. Chelsea drew 0-0 with Sevilla, and Atalanta, Jess's favourites, won 4-0 against Midtjylland. Jess, you happy with the Midtjylland result?
Atalanta result? I mean, I told the lads at half-time, just stay focused. Got into an early lead. 4-0 didn't flatter us. We could have scored a few more, but yeah, I'm happy nonetheless.
Words from the gaffer there. Moving on, we are going to talk about our Premiership results. As we're watching this, Leicester and Arsenal are playing, so we'll have the final result for that game once we finish up here. But let's get into it. Villa played Leeds on Friday. A lot of us, myself included, had reservations as to whether or not Patrick Bamford was cut out for the Premier League following a few unsuccessful loan spells at a couple of clubs. I think his hat-trick on Friday against the title challengers Villa seems to have put any doubt of his pedigree to bed for now. The win temporarily took Leeds up to 3rd in the Prem and took Bamford's tally to 6 goals in 6 games. Up until Friday, Yeah, he's killing it. Up until Friday, Villa had won all 4 of their previous and hadn't even trailed, but they were well beaten by Bielsa's men, Scorch's guy. Bielsa was missing Calvin Phillips with a shoulder injury, and he was replaced by Pascal Struijk, who was booked early on, and then he nearly received a second yellow, and then Bielsa got him off within 21 minutes. So it wasn't all fun and games, but Leeds kind of got around the obstacles and came away with a 3-0 win. What are the realistic expectations for Leeds this season? I asked that to Jess.
This season, it's still early doors. I don't know what I may have said before in the past, but with Bielsa at the helm and England starting centre mid in their team as well, I wouldn't be surprised if they get a top half finish. Lower top half, but top half nonetheless.
Okay. Scorch, you want to chime in?
Well, you know.
It's only right.
Certain people had a lot to say. I picked Bielsa as my number 1 manager in the Premier League, and I got loads of abuse on Twitter. Big up Filthy Fellas. I went on Filthy Fellas and I said I put Bielsa as my number 1 manager, and there was loads of people on Twitter hitting me up. How can you say this about Bielsa? Dean Smith came up to the and that was the one that they was hitting me about. You mug, you don't know this and that. I was like, raw. I'm saying what I think, raw. Boom. Anyway, the thing for me, that, and I want to make this about Bielsa more than I want to make it about Leeds. I'm sorry. The thing for me that is so interesting is I've seen Patrick Bamford come to the Premier League 3 times, and I know he was younger, but he couldn't even get a shot off. He was just he wasn't there. He wasn't in the games. He just bagged a hat-trick. Convincing hat-trick as well.
A good hat-trick at that, yeah.
Hat-trick as well.
No, and I think for more than anything, I feel like that's a sign of the work Bielsa does.
Testament to the man, yeah.
Between the coaching and the telescopes and the spying at your he's got it worked out. He's a genius.
The full package.
A good result.
Fair play. Reece, what do you think? Leeds, do you think they're punching above their weight at the minute and they'll kind of level out, or can they sustain this?
I think they're punching, but I think they'll end mid-table. I think top 10 finish will be good for Leeds if they get a top 10 finish on their first time back in the Premier League. It's a shame that there's no fans as well, because that's one thing I was looking forward to.
Yes, Reece.
When Leeds get promoted was just their fans. Even though I don't really like Leeds, but I did rate their fan base and everything about their club, so it's a bit disappointing. But no, it's good to see Leeds back in the Premier League and doing well. It's good to see. But with Bamford, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Like Scorch said, I've seen him 3 times come to the Premier League, and he's looked awful every time he's come to the Premier League. Awful.
And you know what as well? Remember, he was in a Crystal Palace team that was a good team.
Yeah, he's been at some good teams as well. Like he's had chances. He's had more than enough chances, I think he's had for that usual players will get. But it looks like he's taking his chance this time though.
Well, we'll see. He's sure to be knocking on that England door soon, man. I'll tell you that. Gareth Southgate's going to have an interesting decision to make with Kane, DCL, Patrick Bamford. It's all getting a little bit tight at the top. But yeah, we'll see how he handles that. What? Have I gone too far? Have I jumped off a cliff? Have I jumped off the 6 in 6? I've seen people get call-ups for less. Is
this Opta or is this Armchair Gaffers?
It's a bit of both. There's a balance. But yeah, we'll see. I believe that Patrick Bamford will be getting a call-up within the next 2 international breaks. But yeah, that's just me. Moving on to West Ham versus City. Phil Foden came off the bench to rescue a point for an out-of-sorts Man City team. West Ham have impressed this season with Rice, Antonio, Bowen standing out for me. Are they the unsung heroes or the dark horses of this season? They've had a 4-0 win against Wolves, a 3-3 spectacular draw with Spurs, and then now a 1-1 draw with Man City. And I thought on Man City also, their gradual decline over the last 12 months or so Every now and again, there's still flashes of brilliance, but I can't help feel that they're slightly incomplete. Does anyone agree? I'll ask that to Scorch on this one.
Well,
But
actually,
Jeff, please
no,
interject.
wait. Let me get in there first, actually, if you don't mind.
No, please jump the queue.
Sorry, guys. Hate to be rude. You know, every now and again, you see a player play who just like, it's like poetry in motion. Everything they do is so elegant, so swift. I mean, you don't care if they score or not, because just seeing them in play is just worth.
It's enough. Yeah.
Antonio is not that player. Nick Antonio is the complete opposite, yeah?
Jess, I was thinking, who is he about?
You're taking us on a trip.
A whole trip.
Mikel Antonio, has made me fall in love with him since the restart of the Premier League back in the last season into this season. And the reason why I love him is because I honestly believe, he could do it at a cold night in Stoke, a cold night at Dulwich Hamlets. He can do it anywhere. Bromley, any level, mate. He can
pick a park
pick a park, concrete, fake grass, Astro sand. I trust Mikel Antonio. That's what I want to say.
I'm gonna give you a problem, isn't it?
It's crazy you say that, because I agree with everything you say. It seemed like he could play anywhere, because the way his style, some people say it's not style, but if he's doing that in the Prem, it's a style familiar with maybe your Sunday leagues, or a player that has played
England call
down
up
the leagues.
He needs an England call up. I've said it, guys.
It's about time. He's been on the run since Project Restart.
I'm nominating him for call up. I'm gonna call Gareth Gates or Gareth Southgate, whatever his name is.
Don't call Gareth Gates. Or Gareth Gates, he might need a call. He's probably been out of work for a while. But call Gareth Southgate if you can.
Gareth Gates.
Same thing. Yeah, that was what I wanted to say, guys.
Fair play, Scorch.
Can I say something? And there's a player that I've been, I wouldn't say critical of, but I haven't been as high as everybody else on him. Declan Rice fucking dominated Rodri. What? Decky Rice. Listen,
Rice, man.
Declan Rice, now he's not playing next to Mark Noble, has been unlocked. Bro,
there's been a growth.
And so two things. I wanna praise Declan Rice, because bro, I was wrong about you. You're cold. But also, can we stop pretending Rodri's good just because Pep signed him?
Yeah.
I have an article that I'll share. We'll share it on the Armchair Gaffer socials as well, about Rodri, and it talks about why he may have, why he is struggling. And he's finding it hard to emulate kind of the work done by Fernandinho. A very good article from Breaking the Lines, and it talks about everything that we've mentioned. And it seems as if he's a great player. I'd say great young player, but he's fallen short on too many occasions, I think, and I think it's just due to the predecessor he had before him.
Yeah, I think when you look at Man City, I wouldn't say tailored their game around Fernandinho. I would maybe look at it the other way around. Like, Fernandinho tailored his game into exactly what Man City needed. And Rodri's not capable of that.
No. It's
I feel like Rodri. I feel like Fernandinho finds a way to restore the balance. Rodri's not capable of that. He's got one style, one setting, and when the game doesn't require that, or that's not enough, I feel he doesn't offer anything. And he has on the end result.
Fair play. Armchair Gaffers at home, let us know why City are falling short this year. West Ham, a word on them, please. Antonio, is this the best he's ever played? Do we start giving David Moyes some credit? Because when it's time to give him the cane, we often do. So yeah, it might be time to praise David Moyes. The final game on our list for the weekend results, I didn't want it to be on here. I don't think anyone at home wanted it to be, but there are some talking points. A drab 0-0 draw was played at Old Trafford between Man United and Chelsea. It seemed like both teams were more worried about losing than winning. The biggest talking point from the game was the penalty that never was and was never reviewed by VAR. A quick word on the omission of Van der Beek, please, SB.
I don't know what we signed him for. I actually genuinely don't know what we signed him for. It's like we've got how many games we've had back-to-back games now, and he's not getting any starts. I think he started one game, which was against Luton. I think it was he started against, and then since then he's just been on the bench getting 5-minute, 10-minute cameos.
Scored on his debut.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because his agent came out and said something about, or that's why he's not. But
Possibly so.
he needs to play. We need to get him in the squad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know we want to talk about Van der Beek and Man U, yeah? But someone's got to say it. Somebody has to say it.
What are you going to say, Scotch?
Why are we so understanding of these results and poor performances from Chelsea?
From a team that spent 200 and...
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Wait. I listened to everybody tell me Chelsea are contenders.
Yeah.
Chelsea have had the best transfer window. Well, when they're playing Sevilla, and Sevilla, who can't get a win in their league, bloody hell, you got Lopetegui on the chopping block. They can't do nothing against Sevilla. And then that grab performance against Man United. Bro, listen to this. I'm going to say something that I ain't heard nobody say. I look at that Chelsea team, and you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that Man City team when they bought all them cold players, but they still have
Scorch.
Yeah.
The job's too big for the man. Yeah, Scorch, that's a good point you make about Mark Hughes. It seemed like, someone who was kind of, the job was maybe too big for the man at the time. But yeah, at the minute, Frank seems to be getting a bit of a pass. I don't know if it's because he's got friends in media, family in media. But yeah, spending that much and pulling up 2 blanks with record signings here, there and everywhere. I don't know if it is, I don't know if it's enough.
Jamie Redknapp, why are you not saying anything?
Come on, cousin, family.
Can I say that I've been quietly critical of Mason Mount's continued inclusion in the Chelsea squad, but it looked as if they kind of missed him against United.
Let's be honest, and that's what we like to do here at Armchair Gaffers. We did it last week with Maguire. Happy to slag him off when he's in the wrong, but he turned up last week. Bruno Fernandes, Mr. Penn, stepped up, took another one, bagged, didn't hide. And I'd say the same, Jess. We have been critical of Mason Mount, or we've questioned his inclusion sometimes when...
50 games in a row, you got it's fair to ask.
It's fair. But yesterday, I definitely think they missed intensity, and that is one thing that Mason Mount brings in abundance. Armchair Gaffers, why do you think that Lampard's getting a bit of a ride? Also, a word on Everton, Scorch.
Whoa. I just want to say, this is one thing I want to say. Look, I'm going to say something that nobody wants to hear and no one's really saying.
God. Is this a first,
But can we stop saying these silly things about teams cracking the top 4?
You've had enough of it,
We've been there.
Leicester. Can we just stop saying all these silly things? Everton, all right, cool, you might try to... But all these other teams, stop being silly. The top 4 is out of 6 teams. Everybody else, chill out.
Well, the truth is, Scorch, and I hate to agree with you, the truth is, in the last, 10 years, probably more, we've had one team crack the top 4.
Right, come on, man. I'll be honest, Everton, I looked at Everton today, and what I saw was a team capable. Capable don't mean you're going to do it enough times out of 38 games. That's all it is. I think they've got a good squad that now is capable of performances that they weren't capable of before. That doesn't mean that they're going to consistently put those performances in.
Nah.
That's the difference between being those guys. That's why we look at certain teams and regard them as the big 6 or the big 4, because over the span of time, they've shown you that they consistently know how to do this. Whether or not they do it well, whatever the reasons is, they do this, and Everton don't do this. The good performances are anomalies.
It should be noted that this is the first kind of big blip so far this season. Everyone was blowing smoke up Ancelotti, the Calvert-Lewin show, the James Rodriguez, Alan, Decore got taken off early. So it could be too soon to write him off for the top 6 in my house.
Can we big up my guy though?
Who are you going to talk about?
I don't want to talk about him. I just want to say big up my guy Ralph Hasenhuttl. I will never put you on my accumulator, but I know that you're a good coach.
You've got ability, Ralph.
Hey, Mr. Rock and Roll Football Part 2, Big up Southampton, man.
Also, Everton, in regards to them cracking the top 4, top 6, today showed that they really only have one squad.
Yeah.
They didn't start Andre Gomez. They didn't start with Richarlison because they couldn't. And they also they had someone at right back who I'm not familiar with.
They had Ben Godfrey signed from Norwich. He's a centre-back playing at right back because Coleman has a reoccurrence of his injury.
Okay, and I feel like there was someone else. So no Gomez.
Gordon, they were playing Gordon.
Let's play you up.
Gordon came on. Oh, Alex Iwobi, sorry.
Alex Iwobi. That's the one.
And then, Gordon came on a bit later.
I mean, these are all good pros, but they're not going to crack the top 4. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. Was that continental shade? Man said these are good pros.
Good pros, yeah.
How else do I describe them? They're good pros, but...
Yeah, and I'd probably agree with Jess. When Everton played Brighton at Goodison Park, they were missing. I think it was Gomez, and Alan was possibly injured, and they used Tom Davies to replace him. And it just wasn't the same flowing football. They didn't seem like the same threat. Questions could be asked of the squad, but it is still very early.
Last thing I just want to quickly punch in, and it reared this ugly head again of exactly why Everton will not be cracking the top 4. Pickford, your last man outfield, under pressure that you've invited, and instead of going long, instead of kicking it off for a throw-in, instead of making one of the 2 10-yard passes you've got, you decided to turn out and do a bit, and then go to kick it, and then get tackled. They're never making the top 4 with Pickford in the team.
Every game he makes a mistake, man. It's getting ridiculous, man. How is he England's number 1?
Armchair Gaffers at home, let us know, is Pickford up to it? Can Everton make it into the top 4 with Pickford there? And do we think Everton have enough squad depth? And a piece on Calvert-Lewin today. Didn't get a touch of the ball really. He was well kind of marshalled by Bednarik and Vestergaard. A bit of a pocket job, and it was just kind of reminiscent of the previous Calvert-Lewin. Some of the frustrations I was seeing, the ball bouncing off him.
Guys, no time doors. Yeah.
Go on, Jess. Hesse.
Quickly, what are Calvert-Lewin's dimensions? Just so I know, like, what are his attributes that make him so dangerous?
Powerful.
He's a great athlete to start with.
He and Pete were saying pace and power.
Yeah. No, it's not so much pace and power, but he's just turned into a predator in the box, and that's through good coaching.
He's old-fashioned.
And he wasn't getting the ball in the box.
Old-fashioned number 9 he is, Calvert-Lewin. You don't see too many Calvert-Lewins anymore.
Is that enough in this day and age?
I think one thing he's got for himself, I don't know if it's movement or anticipation, one of the two. I can't quite put my finger on if his movement's messed or his anticipation of what might, kind of like, not quite like a Chicharito, but that sort of, somewhere between a Cavani, between Cavani and Chicharito. I'm not saying in terms of quality, but in terms of playing style. I think he's somewhere there.
Okay, just
you seem like you've got doubts or something like that.
No, I'm just asking questions, guys.
Fair play. Armchair Gaffers at home. Let us know what Calvert-Lewin's attributes are, or if this is just a hot streak that ran on too long.